Self-care for the caregiver. Essential strategies for well-being. Self-care for the caregiver is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. Caregivers, often unsung heroes in the journey of healthcare and familial support, face a myriad of challenges that can take a toll on their physical, emotional, and mental well-being. The role of a caregiver, whether professional or familial, involves a level of altruism and dedication that, while admirable, can lead to personal neglect. Balancing the needs of others with one's own can be a delicate and often overwhelming task. It is here that the concept of self-care becomes paramount. The term self-care encompasses a wide range of practices and activities that individuals engage in to promote their own health and well-being. For caregivers, this means actively taking steps to care for their own physical and emotional health in order to maintain the resilience and energy needed to provide care for others. It's a recognition that to effectively support others, caregivers must first ensure their own health and well-being. Challenges caregivers face. The challenges faced by caregivers are multifaceted. Physically, the demands can range from assisting with daily tasks to managing complex medical procedures, often leading to fatigue and exhaustion. Emotionally, caregivers might experience stress, anxiety, and feelings of isolation, compounded by the emotional weight of empathy and concern for those they are caring for. Additionally, caregivers often navigate through a complex healthcare system and may face financial and time constraints, adding to their stress levels. The importance of self-care in this context cannot be overstated. Engaging in self-care activities helps caregivers to replenish their energy, reduce stress, and maintain a positive outlook. This can include practices such as regular exercise, adequate sleep, healthy eating, mindfulness, or relaxation techniques, and seeking emotional support from friends, family, or support groups. By prioritizing their own well-being, caregivers are not only taking care of themselves, but also enhancing their ability to provide the best possible care to others. Hence, self-care for the caregiver is not just a phrase, it's a critical component in the sustainable care of others. The importance of self-care for caregivers. The role of a caregiver, often characterized by its selflessness and compassion, can be immensely fulfilling. However, it also comes with its unique set of physical and emotional demands, making the importance of self-care for caregivers a topic of paramount significance. Understanding and addressing these demands is crucial in ensuring that caregivers can continue to provide care without compromising their own health and well-being. The physical demands of caregiving. Physically, the demands on caregivers can be strenuous. Caregivers often engage in tasks that require physical strength, such as lifting or assisting with mobility, which can lead to physical strain or injury. Many caregivers find themselves performing these tasks repeatedly without adequate rest or support. This continuous physical exertion can lead to chronic fatigue, muscle strain, and, in some cases, more severe health issues. Furthermore, the nature of caregiving often disrupts caregivers' routines, leading to irregular eating habits and sleep patterns, which can exacerbate physical health problems. The emotional demands of caregiving. Emotionally, the burden can be just as heavy, if not heavier. Caregivers often experience high levels of stress due to the constant need for vigilance and the emotional investment in the well-being of those they care for. This stress is compounded by feelings of responsibility and often by a lack of sufficient emotional support. Many caregivers also face the emotional challenge of watching a loved one struggle with illness or disability, which can lead to feelings of grief, guilt, or helplessness. The consequences of neglecting self-care. Caregiver burnout. Neglecting self-care amidst these challenges can lead to caregiver burnout, a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion. Burnout is more than just feeling tired or stressed. It's a condition where a person feels overwhelmed and unable to meet constant demands. Symptoms of burnout may include fatigue, insomnia, depression, anxiety, and a decline in physical health. It can also lead to a decrease in the quality of care provided, as the caregiver becomes less able to effectively respond to the needs of the person they are caring for. Therefore, it is essential for caregivers to recognize the importance of caring for themselves. This involves acknowledging their own needs and taking steps to address them. Regular physical activity, adequate sleep, and a balanced diet are crucial for maintaining physical health. Equally important is emotional self-care, which can include activities such as counseling, joining support groups, engaging in hobbies or interests, or simply taking time for oneself. It's important for caregivers to recognize that taking care of themselves is not an act of selfishness, but a necessity. By ensuring their own well-being, caregivers are better equipped to face the demands of their role and provide the best possible care. In summary, the care of caregivers is a critical issue that deserves attention and action. Both physical and emotional demands are high, and the consequences of neglecting self-care can be severe. By prioritizing their own health and well-being, caregivers not only safeguard their own health, but also enhance their capacity to provide compassionate and effective care to others. Recognizing the signs of caregiver stress. Caregivers, in their noble role of assisting others, often put their own needs aside. However, this selfless approach can lead to significant stress and burnout if not managed properly. Identifying the early signs of caregiver stress is crucial in taking timely steps towards self-care, thus ensuring both the health of the caregiver and the continued quality of care they provide. Physical signs of caregiver stress. One of the earliest indicators of caregiver stress is physical symptoms. Caregivers may experience chronic fatigue despite getting adequate sleep, or they may find themselves feeling physically drained most of the time. Other signs include headaches, muscle tension or pain, stomach upset, and frequent colds or infections, suggesting a weakened immune system. Disruption in normal eating patterns, leading to weight loss or gain, can also be a sign of stress. These physical manifestations are the body's way of signaling that it's under constant strain and needs attention. Emotional and mental indicators. Emotionally, caregiver stress often manifests as increased irritability, mood swings, or feelings of sadness. Caregivers might find themselves becoming unusually impatient or frustrated with the person they are caring for, or feeling guilty about these negative emotions. Feelings of depression, anxiety, and loneliness are also common, as caregivers may feel isolated in their responsibilities. A general loss of interest in activities that they once enjoyed can be a sign that the emotional burden of caregiving is taking a toll. Behavioral changes. Behavioral changes are another key indicator of caregiver stress. This may include withdrawal from social activities, neglecting responsibilities, or decreased interest in personal hobbies. Some caregivers might resort to unhealthy coping mechanisms such as increased alcohol consumption, smoking, or overeating. Sleep disturbances, such as insomnia or oversleeping, are also common signs of stress. Cognitive symptoms. Caregivers under stress may experience cognitive symptoms such as difficulty concentrating, persistent worrying, and constant feelings of being overwhelmed. They may have trouble remembering appointments or completing tasks that were once straightforward. This cognitive overload can be a sign that the caregiver is reaching a point of burnout. The importance of early recognition. Recognizing these signs early is critical in taking proactive steps towards self-care. Early intervention can prevent the progression to full-blown burnout, which is more challenging to recover from. Caregivers should view these signs as a cue to reassess their caregiving situation and explore strategies for stress reduction. This might include seeking support from family, friends, or professional services, setting boundaries, and taking time for self-care activities. Acknowledging and addressing caregiver stress is not just beneficial for the caregiver, but also ensures the sustainability of the care they provide to others. Remember, taking care of oneself is an essential part of taking care of others. Establishing boundaries for sustainable care. One of the most effective self-care strategies for caregivers is setting clear boundaries. This involves defining limits on what they can and cannot do, both physically and emotionally. Establishing boundaries helps caregivers manage their time and energy more effectively, preventing them from becoming overwhelmed. It's important for caregivers to communicate these boundaries to family members, friends, and those they care for, ensuring that their own needs are respected and met. This might involve delegating tasks, saying no to additional responsibilities, or simply allocating specific times for rest and personal activities. Building a strong support network, the backbone of caregiving, a care team partner, support group. For caregivers, actively seeking and building a support network is essential not only for managing the practical aspects of caregiving, but also for emotional and mental well-being. This network can be composed of family members, friends, fellow caregivers, and healthcare professionals. By sharing the responsibilities of caregiving, the load on any one individual is significantly lightened. Incorporating the importance of forming a care team partner support group, caregivers can benefit immensely from collaborating with others who understand the intricacies of caregiving. These groups or teams can provide a shared platform for exchanging tips, offering emotional support, and sometimes sharing duties. Such partnerships can be especially beneficial in navigating complex care situations, where the collective wisdom and experience of a group can lead to better care decisions and strategies. Take the How to Become a Patient Care Advocate for Your Family Member to learn more about how to build a care team partner support group. Support groups, whether found in local communities or online, are invaluable. They offer a sense of belonging, understanding, and mutual support that is hard to find elsewhere. These groups provide a safe space for caregivers to express their feelings, share their experiences, and learn from others facing similar challenges. Moreover, professional support services, such as respite care, play a critical role in a caregiver's life. These services provide temporary relief, allowing caregivers time for self-care and rejuvenation. This not only helps in preventing burnout, but also ensures that caregivers return to their duties refreshed and more capable of providing quality care. Thus, building and maintaining a robust support network is fundamental for any caregiver. It's a strategy that not only sustains the caregiver, but also enhances the overall quality of care provided to the recipient. Achieving equilibrium, balancing caregiving and personal life. Balancing the demands of caregiving with personal needs is essential for maintaining the well-being and effectiveness of caregivers. It's a delicate juggling act that requires careful planning and self-awareness. Prioritizing personal time. For caregivers, personal time often takes a back seat to the needs of those they care for. However, setting aside time for personal interests and relaxation is vital. This might involve scheduling specific periods during the week dedicated to personal activities, whether it's pursuing a hobby, socializing, or simply unwinding. It's important for caregivers to recognize that taking this time is not selfish, but a necessary aspect of self-care. By recharging in this way, caregivers can return to their duties with renewed energy and a fresh perspective. Incorporating spirituality and faith. For those of faith, spirituality can be a powerful tool in balancing caregiving with personal life. Engaging in spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, or attending religious services can provide immense comfort and strength. These practices offer a sense of peace and purpose, which can be particularly grounding for caregivers facing daily challenges. Spirituality can also serve as a source of community and support, as many faith-based groups offer resources and fellowship for caregivers. Integrating these spiritual practices into daily life can help caregivers find balance and resilience. Establishing a routine that honors self-care. Creating a routine that includes both caregiving responsibilities and personal care is crucial. This might mean setting specific hours for caregiving tasks and strictly adhering to them, allowing for clear boundaries between work and personal time. Caregivers should also be mindful of their physical and emotional limits and recognize when to take a step back. It's important to remember that caring for oneself is as important as caring for others. Seeking support to maintain balance. In maintaining this balance, caregivers should not hesitate to ask for help. That is the reason for creating a care team partner support group. This can come from family, friends, or professional services. Delegating certain tasks or sharing responsibilities can provide caregivers with the much-needed time to focus on their personal lives. Support groups specifically for caregivers can also offer advice and understanding, helping caregivers navigate the complexities of their roles while maintaining their personal well-being. In conclusion, the balance between caregiving and personal life is not only possible but essential. Caregivers must embrace self-care practices, including setting aside time for personal interests, incorporating spiritual practices if applicable, establishing a balanced routine, and seeking support. By doing so, Caregivers not only take care of their own well-being, but also enhance the quality of care they provide, making caregiving a more sustainable and fulfilling experience. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode of Caregiver Relief. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or suggestions for future videos, topics you'd like us to cover, or even improvements you'd like to see on the channel, drop them in the comments below.